Hello, Sami. This is Dimitris calling from Chicago and Metal Kaoz. Great to see
How are
you.
you doing? It's an honor. Thank you.
I love that we have to discuss a new album, a new Ensiferum album. So, my first question is, when did the band start working on Winterstorm?
Uh, well, the way we compose, we always have songs that we don't finish for an album. They're always like from Thalassic, there were a bunch of songs that we just couldn't finish, and we had enough songs for an album, so we booked the studio, and that was it. So, in a way, you can say that the composing process started years and years ago,
Yeah.
but I would still say the official number will be 2020, uh, when we finished recording Thalassic and did a bunch of interviews. Then there was some time to go to rehearsal room and check some raw ideas. But then
Something else
the
happened,
break,
right?
something else happened, and then there was suddenly shit tons of time. But then there was a huge, I don't want to say writer's block, but it was really hard to get in the mode of, yeah, we need to start really composing a new album. But yeah, I would say 2020, this was really composed during COVID, and you can really hear that from this album. It's not really happy album, no happy drinking songs.
Well, there is this epic element, right?
Yes, yes, of course, but there's no like this happy drinking songs that we have, like Twilight Tavern or Lila Hey or
True.
Midsummer Magic or this kind of stuff. God is dead. There's not a song like this on this album, and it's natural because any album, the way I see it, it reflects the time, like a couple of years before the album was released, like time that happened in everybody's life, and
Yeah.
not just in Ensiferum. I think in every band you can kind of. I think it reflects the time and the experience that everybody had,
Yeah.
and
Sorry, I need
yeah,
to say that we smile now and kind of making jokes, but
yeah,
really, especially the beginning was really grim. And I can only
I
imagine
agree.
what this means for a band that has been used playing out live, getting all the energy and then putting it back in the studio.
Yes, exactly. Because like the normal cycle of life was that yeah, you work for a few years writing new songs and finalize everything, the arrangement, and then you go to the studio and get it out, and then do like 2 3 years of heavy touring, and then during that time you get like ideas for the new songs and experiences, meet new people, have good conversations, see good movies, read cool books or articles, and get ideas
Yeah.
for the new music. And suddenly there was nothing. It was just like, okay, that was hard. But of course, yeah, like I said, now it's easy to look back. We can make jokes out of it. But well, we were all in the middle of it, and yeah, that was not fun. There
Uh,
was like we had the calendar was full of upcoming festivals and plans for the tours, and the days go by, and suddenly the calendar becomes empty. It's like, what the fuck is gonna happen now?
you could not have said it better. What the fuck, indeed. Um, uh, uh, for this time around, there was something good at least. Let's look at it like that. That
Yeah.
Marcus had to start working with digital tools, right?
Yes. Finally.
So
Well,
go on.
no. What that actually meant, uh, like me, I had to take a day job when COVID hit. I was home for like a couple of weeks, and when I saw the calendar was empty, I was like, oh, I need to pay my rent. I need to get food for my cats. So I had to take a day job, which meant that I couldn't be in rehearsal room that much
Mhm.
as I used to be. I mean, I've been doing kind of day job for the last 20 years, but I've been like a substitute kindergarten teacher.
Oh, really?
So yeah, but I was really helping like one day there, 2 days there, maybe 1 week every now and then. But it was really like when I could, more than that I actually had to. And now it's really what like I have to do something. But because Marcus could finally do stuff at home, what he did was stuff that we used to do well with me, or sometimes it was Marcus, Pete, and me. We'd sit down with the string instrument and check like all the possible chords and melody options, or twist and turn every melody, every riff.
Right.
And before really going to rehearsal room together with the whole band and kind of do the same thing again, but then we could already know that, okay, we don't need to check all the possible chord progressions. We already know these are the best ones. So then we could just focus on arranging stuff much more together. But yeah, now that Marcus could do that at home, he could try different ideas, different versions. So that took a lot of time away from the work we should have done in rehearsal room. I mean, the reality that I was doing a day job meant that I couldn't be in rehearsal room that much. If Marcus wouldn't have taken this step in the modern times, I would say the album wouldn't be even composed yet.
But I hope you are not saying that the digital tools replaced Sami, right?
No, what happened, of course, then when we went to rehearsal room, of course, we checked everything again. Like, okay, is this absolutely the best? But quite fast, it was much faster to know this. Like, okay, you did good job. This is already the best version. And I'm like, okay, could we play this in going to 3 instead of 4? And he said, yeah, I already tried, but yeah, we can try it fast and blah, blah, blah. Okay, we tried, and okay, you're right. This is the best version of this. But that's like the way we compose. All the ideas are open there to be twisted and turned. We have this policy that everything, no matter how crazy the idea is, we need to try it at least once. I mean, you can come to rehearsal room and say, I want to play this in a style of, dubstep. I don't know how we can do that, but the idea, then we'll try. And sometimes, and it's not actually that rare. Sometimes you might have an idea in your head of a riff or a melody, and you take it there, and the guys are like, okay, let's try like add some tempo or something. Could we change this chord, or instead of doing 2 rounds, can we do 3? And then we add some hook in the fourth, and suddenly the original idea is still there, but it's just much better. And that's the beauty of when you compose as a band. And then everybody is satisfied with the result, because then, of course, sometimes there are really passionate debates, like why this version is better than this.
And that's good. That's good.
Yeah. And that means that everybody cares.
Yes. And in fact, if you have confident musicians and mature musicians, and something like this always produces the best results. So it's not surprising, right? Ensiferum will be celebrating the 30th anniversary next year.
Shit. Yeah, that's insane. But of course, the reality is, Marcus founded Ensiferum in 95, but he was 15 at that time. So, of course, it didn't start immediately like Ensiferum was like a touring band. Like the first real tour was 2004. So, of course, the first years, well, as it is, with a teenager band, you just start jamming with your friends. You play probably covers of the bands that you like, and you might slowly start composing your own stuff.
But we are still young, please. Right?
Yes, of course. I mean, it's funny to see, your old friends, and it's funny how everybody else has aged so much and you're not.
I don't know why that happens, man. I don't
know.
That's crazy.
There has to be some time machine or something.
But we sometimes, the older generation, forgets that we have young metalheads, and that during the pandemic became old enough to go to concerts, and they didn't have the opportunity. So now
Yeah.
we have a brand new generation. So when we say Ensiferum is 30 years old, it does have some weight on it, right? Even though you didn't start touring until 2004, but
Mm.
it's something that was that old. I have to say old.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong about being
Right.
honest. Because that's the word that describes long lived.
So you said your day job is in a kindergarten.
Not not anymore. Actually, that was something I did before COVID. And when
Wait. I'm trying to connect with something interesting though.
oh, okay, go. But
So
yeah, I have
sorry to interrupt you because I was about to say, then this means that you know to tell good stories.
maybe I've always liked to read, and yeah, when I was working in kindergartens, I loved to read for the kids because I think it's very healthy, and I think nowadays there are even scientific studies about that, how important the model of reading for kids is. If you just give them iPad or phone, it's very different for their imagination and connection as a human being than if you are sitting in a lab of an adult and you're reading together and you're starting to learn the words or there are pictures or whatever. So I think this is really crucial for not even parents, but I mean as an adult or older sibling is to read and to give this example of reading books. I think it's very, very, very healthy. But yeah, I think it has something to do with that. I mean, I've been reading fairy tales for a couple of decades here, uh, uh, as a part of my profession. But yeah, when COVID hit, all the gigs were canceled and all the kindergartens were closed. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? But yeah, I studied two social healthcare professions back in the Middle Ages. Yeah, I was a kindergarten teacher, but also I'm a nurse. So I was like, I guess I'm gonna do some nursing then. So I went to work with old people for 2 years, and now for the last 2 years, since 22, I've been working with the disabled people.
Oh,
This it's a very unique place in Finland. It's I don't know what's the politically correct term, but our clients are deeply disabled
okay.
mentally. Yeah, so we are kind of activation center. People don't live there where I work. They come there and with the taxis, and we try to deliver some joy and multisensory stimulation in their life
Yeah.
because they might. But yeah, it's very. I really like this work. It's very rewarding. I have the best boss, best coworkers, and the best client in the world. But the reality is that no matter how much I like it, and I need it to pay my rent and food for my cats, but of course this is time away from my creative
Right.
work,
But
and that's still a big part of me. And I would love to compose and to write my unpublished book, which is still needs a lot of
this
writing.
is where I was going. But before
Yeah.
going there, I want to say that this your work with these people, I understand this is a great experience, and it gives you a different view of life.
Yes.
I'm happy that you said these things and how happy you are working with this. I have been a teacher for uh, 15 years, but with young kids, so I definitely understand what you're saying. It's really important.
No.
However,
Yes. Respect, because when I was younger, I was certain I was going to be like a youth worker. But the older I got, I realized like, no, I probably wouldn't have the patience for that. So I'm really happy that there are people who really can do that. I mean, yeah, like teaching like teenagers or something, I huge respect because that's so important. Well, teaching the next generation, I mean, that's as a humanity,
oh yeah,
that's the most important thing.
and especially what you said about reading, and that's actually reading, having the physical book, right, to turn the page and not to scroll or I don't know what else, what movie
Yeah.
Do the iPads
Well,
help?
also like I, I read about it like writing also. If you
Oh,
just write with the keyboard, it's very different to your brain than if you really write with your hand. And I noticed myself, I have shitty memory. If I write something down,
you
literally,
remember that?
I yeah. If I just type it with my phone or whatever, I don't remember anything. You can ask that from anyone who knows me. I get so much feedback from always forgetting stuff. And back in the days before smartphones, I had like these yellow post-it stickers or something in my pocket. I was always writing like ideas for lyrics or like, okay, this melody could go like this and or something. So that crazy. It feels so Stone Age thing nowadays. It's so
Yeah,
easy
but
nowadays to just
have
take
you have
their
you, have you
phone
noticed
memory. Yeah.
how difficult is to read someone else's handwriting, especially if they are younger? This is becoming a lost art almost. Actually, having a good writing style, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
our
in
fault.
Finland,
It's not the young kids. It's our fault. We
no. This should have been pushed in a school system much more.
yes,
Uh, I don't know the English word for
calligraphy.
uh,
Maybe?
calligraphy. Yeah, because we had that in Finnish school until I think it was like 8 years ago. They took it away,
Oh, really?
and now, yeah, and now I just saw news. Was it last week? Some kids, like young kids, like 10 or something, they want to study this in school because they think it's beautiful. Well, it's mostly girls, but I think this is really good because it's also a hand-eye coordination and it teaches you to focus and to much more. So only good stuff.
Oh boy, I don't know
Okay.
how we went there.
Yeah, exactly. How we end up from folk metal to fucking
But back
handwriting.
to your book, and this is I tried to search, but I wasn't successful. Is this your first attempt to write a book? Because it has not been published yet, right?
Yeah, well, it's not even finished because yeah, in my head I was planning to. I've been planning the story for like 10 years. I've written some stuff, but especially with COVID, I kind of thought that when this ends, kind of when things kind of calm down, maybe Ensiferum will start touring again much more. I can quit a day job, then I can really start to write it.
Okay.
But that was kind of my plan. But because of the the whole how this album turned out, and it was really the hardest album for me ever to write lyrics to.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, the book and Ensiferum universe never meant to meet. They were never meant to meet, and but it just happened now. And I guess I need to start working with the book a bit faster now. But yeah, my idea was really to start writing not when I'm retired because I will never retire, but later on.
Right.
Uh, so that's why I'm not in a hurry. Yeah, it's definitely my first and probably the only book I will ever write. I don't think I'm ever going to be an author.
Never say never.
Uh, Never say never. Exactly. That's what the last 4 years have really thought. The whole fucking planet. Uh, but let's see. The thing is that I don't even know if I'm gonna sell it or if I just when it's finished I just put it out because I have no ambition to become like an author. I don't want to be in a book fairs talking about stuff. At least at this point, I just feel like I have this story I want to write down and just get it out. Same like with music. You know, sometimes you just have this stuff inside you and you just need to get it out of your system and then it's done and
True.
then
But
you
let
can
me
start.
ask you this.
Yeah.
Is Victorious about the last final battle of the book?
No,
So,
and that's the beauty of how I managed to write the lyrics for the album because yeah, the book is going to be like really long story with generations passing, so it actually might be quite long in the end.
mhm.
And if this is the book, the Winter Storm album is like this much. It's just telling like just like about two factions. It's introducing three characters, and kind from two events. So it's not telling pretty much anything from the big story. Of course, these people who are introduced here, of course, there are main characters, at least at the point where they are in the book. But like I said, it's going to be generations. It's not the final battle of the book.
So there can be another Ensiferum album based on that story, and then another one. So
I know.
can this,
like you said, never say never. You said never say never, but at the moment, in my mind, it's absolutely no, never.
Okay.
Because I don't wanna chain Ensiferum in any way. And why this worked out now is the album is very sad and serious, and it's very epic and cinematic almost the whole album. So now it fits that it's like part of a big story. But like the next album that we're already working, it's already a bit. Yeah, of course. It's gonna be a bit different. So it would not even fit the songs that the raw songs we have now. They would not even fit this kind of thing. But let's see. The songs are still, like I said, we always twist and turn and tear them apart. So they might still change a lot. But at the moment, it really feels like no way. At least the next album, it can never be anything from this universe.
So then I have to ask, at what point did you decide to write lyrics based on this story, based on the fact that the music was, as you said, sad?
Like I said, it was tough album.
True.
As a lyric writer.
At what point?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. I wrote like raw lyrics, like raw ideas. For probably 20 different ideas. For the raw songs that we had in the beginning, like 20, 21, something like this. And I just discarded them all because they all felt like rubbish. We even reached the point with the raw songs that we couldn't progress anymore. Like the guys were really pushing me, like we need some vocal arrangements before we can actually continue with the songs, because of course when you get the vocals there, it starts to change also the songs.
Yeah,
like some rhythms and some parts you start to hear, okay, this needs to be 4 times instead of 2, and this part needs to be there. And so there was a lot of this pressure, and I remember even checking my bookshelf, like should I just read some of my all-time favorite books and maybe like make a theme album out of that, and then how about my own book? But it's not ready, but I kind of know the storyline and I know a lot of the details that's going to happen there. And then I started to listen to demos, the raw demos, with this in my head. Like, okay, yes, this song is very heroic. It could be about this. Yes, actually, it makes sense. This song is very sad. Yeah, there's this character. Yeah, now then it started to make sense. And then when I explained this idea, the guys were like, okay, I guess they were just happy that I finally got some inspiration. But of course, then the lyrics started to change a bit, the songs, and I needed to convince the guys quite a lot with the order of the songs, because it's absolutely not traditional. Like you said, it ends the song victorious. Like any normal band would this song in the beginning of the album. Yeah, like one of the most straightforward and fastest song. Of course, like this mosh pit song, it's really weird to have it as a last one. But for me, when I listen to this album, it's really like watching
part of the story,
part of a movie or a trailer. For me, it ends in a cliffhanger. Like it would be like the end of an episode, and yeah, come back next week and we'll continue from there. And the really cool thing, one of the things that I really love about this album is that I always hated making music videos, because we're a small band, we don't have a budget, and most of all, there's never an idea. Even though I wrote the lyrics, and there was never a good idea for the videos, and it's just like millions other bands, like you just put the guys in the forest and they headbang.
Right.
Yeah, and it's so fucking terrible. That's why I never been fan of making music videos. But for now, we managed to convince Metal Blade that the whole album is about from a story. We need more videos, and they were like, okay,
Perfect.
Elaborate. So, and I wanted the band just to be band kind of playing, and the storyline to be more there in the video. And with this guy Marcin Hallers, who's making all the videos, he got it, and he's very ambitious with this stuff. He really liked the scripts that I wrote, and he modified something. And we're gonna make it so that you can, in the end, you can watch all the 4 videos, and it's gonna be almost like a short movie. So it kind of continues. So this is something I'm very excited. I only seen 2 videos. He's now working with the third and the fourth. So I can't wait.
So maybe all these things happen for a reason, for you to get back to your book and then get inspiration from that, get some visuals connected to that story. So that sounds great.
Yeah, everything makes sense. I mean, it's like this butterfly effect.
True.
Something happens that it might lead to something good, or small things. If you have enough long time, small things actually make the difference in the direction of.
Parenthesis. We kind of see this pattern after we have gone through that, right? So
yes, then you can pinpoint the point in a history. Hey, if that would not have happened, this wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't be here. Yeah, I can point the exact point of my life 30 years ago. If I wouldn't have spoken to one guy, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, but
we were teenagers.
But that doesn't really work like that. But who knows? I don't know. Maybe it does. You mentioned the vocals, and this is the second Ensiferum album with Pekka in the band. So now does it mean that you guys have learned more of what he can do for the music of Ensiferum?
Yes. Well, we kind of knew when he applied to the band that he's a very versatile singer. But the problem was when he joined the band, the previous album, Talassi, was 99% ready. Everything was kind of composed, and there was not much to do anymore. And of course, we fell in love with his talent to do the high and loud stuff. So maybe we bit overdid it on Talassi, but it fit the album very well. But already then we made the decision that for the next album, with Storm now, let's try different styles, because even though Pekka is a fantastic power metal singer, he does not identify as a power metal singer, which is crazy. He has his talent, but his passions are also in other styles, and so we made this decision already years ago. So when we started making demos, we used much more time for that. We tried different styles, well, obviously different octaves, and mainly the styles. And that was really intentional for this album, so that it's not all the time high and loud. And I would say in the future we will explore even more possibilities.
Well, in the future, you are already working on the next one.
Yes, yeah. Well, it takes years to finish, and the next 2 years are going to be very busy. We already have many tours lined up, and
Pagan Fest, Trollfest. You have the Folk Fest, right?
that was announced today officially, so it feels really good. Because last time we were in North America was 2019, so it's like lifetime ago.
Yeah, I agree. You had also Madeline from Elaine doing some lead singing. How did this happen?
Well, this song, Scars in My Heart, it was I remember when Marcus sent me the like a rough idea. Like it had like the melody, the beginning melody, and kind of some rough idea. The verse could be like this kind of rhythm in the guitar or something. And I called him like, dude, is this really your melody? Because this is like way too good. Like it sounds like it was some real composer from Mozart or whatever. Uh, because it's one of the most beautiful things he ever composed. And this one was probably the easiest song to arrange. It's very straightforward, but it was all the time there. Like, how are we going to do with the vocals? And the moment when I got idea of what thing this song is telling about from the book, I wrote a few lines and we started doing like vocal demos. Pekka tried a couple different styles. We're like, okay, that's okay. And Pete did one with harsh vocals. That was fantastic, but a bit too rough maybe. And it was obvious that this song needs female vocals. I think it was the drummer Janne who said it out loud, and everybody agreed. There was no debate about it. This song just, even though it meant that we can't really play this song live that much, but what you record will stay there forever. I mean, even when you're dead. So the song needs to be as good as it can. But then we started thinking about, okay, who are we going to ask then? Because the world is full of good singers. And we just couldn't find the right one. I mean, someone, when you say their name, it's like, yes, that's her. We need to ask her. And we couldn't find that person. It was pretty much a year ago, actually.
Oh.
We were going for the tour with Payne and Elaine and Ryujin. And we were like talking with the band, like, okay, let's time out. Let's go on a tour. When we come back, then we decide who are we gonna contact. And it was pretty much like the second show. We went to see other bands' gigs and started talking with the whole band, like, she's fucking good singer. Because I admit I did not know their band before. And her technique really blew our asses off or something like this. Yeah, blew our mind. Yes. Sorry, me and my barbarian mind. Ass. Let's go with mind. Anyway, it was a few days later. We talked with her like, hey, would you be interested about being a guest vocalist on our album? And we listened to the demo, and she liked the song, and everything went very smoothly. She went home. She recorded like 10-second clip. Could this kind of technique work? And we're like, perfect. She flew to Helsinki, did her magic in the studio, and that was it.
Perfect.
And one production detail I always need to mention in this song is, well, the whole album is very epic, grandiose. There's shit tons of material and orchestration and a big choir, like probably 200 voices, and Pekka has a lot of harmonies, and even Pete's harsh vocals sometimes have like low doubling thing to give so cojones there. But for this song, Scars in My Heart, there's only one vocal track throughout the whole song. No harmonies, no doubling, to emphasize the loneliness of the song, because it's a widow on a seashore with her own thoughts and grief and so on. And that also proves how good singer she is. There was nothing else needed, just one track of vocals and perfect. Not even in a chorus. Usually in chorus, producers want to like have extra harmonies coming in or something, but nothing. Just one track of vocals, and she's fantastic.
Okay, I have seen Elaine. I can definitely agree with you. Live, her vocals have melody, have power, and everything in between.
Yeah.
In the Digi box set, there are two cover songs. What's happening there? I can see the Joe English song, the 6 ribbons, but for La Bala.
Well, actually, lambada. We had this idea for years and years and years, and the drums were recorded in Thalassic session, but we ran out of time. We were like, okay, because of course when you record an album, the real songs are the priority, and the covers and the bonus stuff is the bonus. And well, yeah, we ran out of time on Thalassic session, but it was all the time there. Like, okay, we need to finish that for the next album, even though it has nothing to do. Now it even feels more weirder if you think about having a very serious album and then you have fucking Lambada with a weird Iron Maiden tribute mentality. Uh, yeah, well, we're all old enough to remember this song from 80s. Or was it? I think it was 80s. Yeah, yeah.
And there was a craziness all around. Everybody was singing this song.
Yeah, there was the dance and everything. Yeah, yeah. I remember.
Who is singing in this?
But yeah,
who is doing the vocals? The vocals.
Pekka and.
So I lost you. You said Pekka and?
Yeah, Pekka.
Okay.
And, okay. Where I was going, we did a couple of albums ago. We did Bamboleo, and it was also so hilarious because this was also like Pete don't speak any Spanish, so we took the original and we wrote it as it's pronounced, and then he was there in the studio like trying to match the pronunciation. Same now with Pekka. It's so hilarious. Yeah, I guess for native people that's gonna sound funny, but
yeah, as long as you hit lambada, it's good. I mean, that's everything people need to know. Okay, we mentioned we have the 3 tours that coming up. You start with Finland, right?
Yes, with Swallow the Sun, who actually released a new album also on the same day. Next week's Friday.
Then you have Pegafest, Folk Fest in North US, and I guess the next one is the European festival season, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, then it's a festival season. But as I mentioned earlier, like next 2 years are going to be very busy. I would say the whole world. Well, maybe not Antarctica. We're still working on that. But I would say we really try to go to every continent. Well, we've been in Africa only once. We played in South Africa. So that's also like a tricky continent.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to go back there. But I don't know how the metal scene is.
I have no idea.
In other countries than South Africa. But at least like the usual like touring in Europe a few times, hopefully doing North America a few times, South America, Australia, Japan, maybe China, and of course
also.
Yes, yeah. But like do like a proper touring there also. But we're always open for going to new places because that's a huge privilege of this line of work. Like we played, like I said, we played in South Africa, Israel, Turkey. We played in India. So we're always up for adventure.
Yes. I have 2 more questions. I will let you go. So we mentioned that next year is the 30th anniversary.
Yes.
Although you're releasing new music, but still I have to ask, are you planning to celebrate the occasion?
Well, we acknowledge it, but it's not something that we build our future plans for this. I mean, there are other stuff that we're also planning, but let's say there are a few plans that are like competing at the moment. But yeah, we have acknowledged this, and if we can make it work, then it's going to be something really big. But it's also that as a band of our size, it's also nice if we can find a bigger tour where we can go support a bigger band, because then we can reach new people. Because the fact is that folk metal is a quite niche genre from metal, and we are kind of one of the apex predators I mean, one of the biggest bands in this genre, and that's not to brag, but that's just a sad reality also. That to reach new people, we really need to break some boundaries. Well, we did a tour with Pain, and that was really something like industrial metal and folk metal now. But it also benefits both bands. I mean, they also gained a lot of people that who have never seen them alive. They might know the name, but never saw them live, and that's really something I think Ensiferum needs, because Ensiferum is definitely a live band. I mean, it's nice to make albums, but I think the whole folk metal genre is at its best in live situation when you are having drinks with your buddies and sing along, and that's what I love.
Oh yeah, I cannot
much more than sweating in the studio.
Absolutely. Last question. What is the latest from Metal de facto?
We are actually, it meant to be this weekend. We meant to start recording the drums for the third album. Mm-hmm. So the third album is pretty much composed. Now I would actually need to start. I have ideas for the lyrics. For this band, it's much more easier because we have every album has a theme. Like the first one was ancient Rome, second one was from Japan, but there was so many good topics, good ideas for lyrics. We decided, okay, we need to make 2 albums about Japan. So this is kind of easy because I know kind of the titles of each song. So then it's about more like finding the best possible words and idioms. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, next year is going to be very busy for me because, of course, with Metal de facto, we would love to tour also. When the first album came out, we got offers for tours in Europe to support quite big power metal band. But of course, the pandemic fucked that up also. So let's see. I would say we will release it early next year, maybe the third album. So we could maybe do some festivals. And of course, it would be cool to combine it with Ensiferum shows. I mean, if Ensiferum plays on some festival, come on, it's the same bass player. Like, please book them also.
So will the third album be part 2 of Land of the Rising Sun?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Got it. So you were trying to get away from proposing for Metal de facto opening for Ensiferum for the entire tour, right? No.
For me, that would be okay. But the thing that, de facto is at the moment too small band. It's not drawing
I understand
enough. So we're not on a level where we can actually decide everything ourselves. Of course, well, I guess we could be assholes and say like that, but we also need to be realistic. I mean, it's when especially nowadays, the bands are really touring a lot.
Yes.
So it's more and more important to have a good package, so that people have fun from the beginning until end. If you just have like the headliner and then bands that no one knows, exactly. So it's just how the business is nowadays. I hate the word business, but that's what it also is. You need to have strong packages, so that also the pandemic might be gone, but the world is not. It will never be the same. I mean, the inflation is really a huge problem. Everybody is fucking lacking money. I'm really checking what shows I'm going to see because I can't afford to go see all the shows I would love to. So I think everybody's struggling with this. So you need to have a package that is very appealing to people, so they will actually come there.
Yeah. We have seen that in the States. Nowadays, I think it was like 15 years ago that we have big packages now, not as one major band and then some covered. Everybody. So we have returned back to the big packages, big tours, because everybody is touring. There are not enough venues. People cannot go everywhere. So let's put them all together. But it is
that's also an issue. The venues,
Mhm.
because during COVID, I know many venues went bankrupt,
Yes, unfortunately.
and the reality is that there are quite many bands, let's say like the same size as Ensiferum, who can draw a few hundred people every evening. There are not that many venues in major cities that
Hmm.
can do this, and everybody wants to play during weekends, obviously. So then it all comes down to having a good routing. So the booking agency really need to find the good places so that it doesn't end up like you have Friday off
Right,
suddenly, like there's
right.
no show, or you play all the big cities on Mondays or something. So it's a lot of work. So, but
It's
that's
a
really like,
headache. It's a headache. I
yeah, it's
feel
a
like
headache.
it's
But
unfair to both bands and the fans too.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
to pick. Well,
Uh, but that's luckily we have people who would do that, because if we would need to start booking the tours ourselves, yeah, I think we would not go outside Finland.
Sami,
We're too old for that stuff.
never say old again.
Yeah, okay, okay, okay.
So let's agree
We're
to talk soon about your freshly released book, right?
yes, yes. Hopefully sooner than later.
And have great time touring. Have safe travels, and see you
Yes,
here in Chicago.
excellent.
Have a great.
Thank you. All the best, and see you next year.
Bye bye.
Bye.